Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you listen to this. This is Dee with older INFP-A Assertive Insights. And today I'm going to be talking about something that sounds maybe a little bit weird, but maybe not. It has to do with I went to go visit the leftovers. I put that in quotation marks at the shelter for cats here over the weekend. There were only 7 of them, but the real thing is I'm talking about my FI is battling my TE right now, having to do with that. My introverted feeling and my extroverted thinking. So what exactly am I talking about? I have had videos on YouTube. I started out as a YouTuber, and I am going to publish this on YouTube also. So I'm going to be talking to both audiences, the podcast one and also with YouTube. And I have mentioned this before, that INFPs tend to feel left behind by the rest of the world, or not included, left behind, whatever word and term you want to use. And I think there are several different verbs that apply. I mean, sometimes you're not included. Like here, I live in as I say, the old folks home. It's senior apartments, and they're little cliques, and it's like high school. It's little cliques, and they get together and they do things, socialize. They don't tell people that they socialize, but once in a while I'll talk to one of them, and they'll slip and mention. I think that's the INFP part, is that we're easy to talk to, and it just kind of slips out. And I know that they are doing things, and I never get invited. I've been here 7 years. I've never been invited to anything with anybody. I have invited other people, and that's just not going to work. So I've stopped doing that. So we can get left out, or we could get left behind, as in particularly if you're younger, you see your friends, your friends may be getting into careers, getting married, having kids, getting vacation homes, whatever point in life you're in, and then you're just stuck back. You're just stuck back or feel stuck. Like, well, I don't have a job, or I'm not the job I want to be in, and I'm single. I've never had a girlfriend, boyfriend, or anything like that, or nothing of substance. So, yeah, I mean, I can remember too when I was, I'm a product of the 60s, so when I was in my 20s, which was in the 70s, in the early 70s, and back then I was married with kids. I did everything in a hurry, young, get it out of the way. Did everything society wanted me to do. Now I'm doing my own life, but doing my life backwards. But anyway, I kind of remember the day I was sitting in the living room, and I grew up like during the kind of hippie phase in college, and we were anti-establishment, anti all this, and I read an article in the paper. Back then we didn't have all this internet stuff, so we had to read papers and magazines, and more or less. And so there were articles about some of the biggest activists in the anti-establishment movement were now CEOs and millionaires. And I remember reading an article about somebody, and I thought, what happened? Here I am. I'm here, even though I'm married with kids. I mean, I lived a minimal lifestyle, still have my tie-dye t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, and still listening to hard rock music and all that. And I'm like, okay, they left me behind. I felt like I got left behind, so I do understand that. So getting back, I will probably digress a little bit more today. Sorry for that for the podcast part, but the YouTubers do like for me to, or know that I'm going to be telling a long story. So what I did, since I have left YouTube, I've actually gotten a lot of my energy back, and I'm feeling a whole lot better. I have a whole lot more energy. I feel almost normal as far as being able to do daily activities. I'm walking up and down 4 flights of stairs, not taking the elevator. I'm going places. So yeah, it's just like a switch turned on, and that part's been really great. So I decided that I really don't want to be around people, and I'm trying to live in the moment more, uh, which is interesting to live in the moment. It's coming. I'm working on that. Um, but I decided that I needed a companion, and the older I get and the more I evolve and grow, and I think we should all continue to grow, the more I do that, the less I like to be around people, the less patience I have for people. And so it's a two-edged sword, double-edged sword here. I like being alone. I like the life I'm living, but yet I do get lonely, and so I decided I'd get a companion. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll get another cat. And for those of you who don't know, and most don't because I haven't talked about my pets, but at one time I had a lucrative, as a side hustle, I had a lucrative pet sitting business that ended up being mostly for cats. I was doing dogs and cats. Well, I would do most anything, but it turned out to be dogs and cats. It got to be a cat thing. The apartment complex I lived in at that time, I was the caretaker of a small feral colony. I had 2 cats, 2 mama cats. Got them spayed, I took care of them for 12 years. I've had cats, I've had a dog, and all that in between, a black lab who liked cats. So I don't see myself as a cat person, but I guess people started calling me the cat whisperer. They would come to me for advice, or mainly advice of how to take care of a cat. I run a Facebook group for people who have cats with cancer, and several thousand people are in there. I had a cat with cancer, didn't have anybody to talk to, and so it's a support group. So anyway, I'm the cat person. I think INFPs are more cat people, but we're animal people. So I decided I would go this particular shelter. I would go, and I'm going to be shorter about this. I would go to this particular shelter. They were having, for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they were having adopt. The shelter's full, empty the shelter kind of weekend, and the adoption fee was only $5. So I decided, and I looked online, and there was one cat, it was a calico cat, and I'll show you a picture. I hope I can get a thumbnail of this. I just thought she was so cute. Calico cat. She looked so sad too, which interested me. I thought, well, on Sunday, if she's still there, I will go see her. And why is she still there? For $5 adoption fee, other than the fact she's 5 years old, and older cats usually don't get adopted, and I want someone who's older and don't have a lot to do. So I went, and I was the only person in there on Sunday. They said everybody came on Friday. And I think the cats that were left, there were only 7 left out of the whole shelter. They tended to be introverts. I think they were worn out. A lot I didn't see and go visit because I could tell that they were worn out. And so I went to see this one, and I asked her, I said, why is she still here? And she has a heart condition, and she's on medication for that. And I looked it up, and I have dealt with my last cat, had cancer and megacolon and a heart murmur and cataracts, and you name it, she had it. So giving medication and having one with a little kind of a medical thing wasn't that big a deal. But I looked it up, and it can be a big deal. I'll just tell you, for those who are interested, or maybe not, but I'll just tell you. It's a left ventricular outflow obstruction, which people have too. And I mean, I'm on beta blockers. I have a benign heart condition. So I thought, well, one heart condition to another heart condition. I know I don't want. I've had that happen. I mean, I've kind of bonded to this cat before I saw her, and I thought, don't go, because you're going to wind up bringing one home. That's what my TE was saying. Don't go. You don't need to be doing this part of your life. You have your own health to worry about. You just you don't need to be tied down. I like to pick up and go when I want to, and cats you can leave for a couple of days. Now this one you cannot unless I have a pet sitter, because it's on medication. The medication she's on, I looked up, and they have bad side effects, and there's a debate in the medical community about whether or not to give medication for this condition. The benefits do not outweigh the risk of side effects. So I have a call in to the vet I'm going to use if I did adopt, to answer some questions about how involved is this, how often are we expected to go to the vet, do we have to have medications, the pros and cons. Now that's my TE talking. My FI is talking, and then that's what's with this one. Another one was left because it's a 10-year-old cat who looks like a dog, bigger than a Maine Coon cat. A Maine Coon cat is the biggest, largest cat. I mean, besides like cheetahs and things. Lions and cheetahs. I mean, you know, cats. The Maine Coon is, I think, is the largest. This was a ginger, short-haired domestic ginger. Was the biggest cat. That's why he was left. That's why he was left. One has a skin allergy, and one's too shy and had her head underneath the pillow, and they're still working on socializing that one. It gave me insight. Where am I going with this? And I kind of don't know, but I do know. Is that it gave me a lot of insights into people and why people reject others. And, you know, if you ask people outright, like, I know I'm being left, I'm alone, people don't want to be around me for whatever reason. I'm too honest, or they think I'm lying when I'm telling the truth. I'm very intuitive. That gets a lot of people. I'm very intuitive. I've learned not to tell people what I know about them because I sense it. They don't like that. I've learned after 70-some years, people don't like that. I think it's interesting, and I'm trying to bond, but they don't like that. But if you ask a person face to face, person to person, 9 times out of 10, if they are not an intuitive type, if they are sensory type, and I live in an ESTJ world, so they are not going to tell you if I say, what's your problem with me? Have I done something? They're not going to say. I'm being ignored by people now that I thought were friends or friendly. They actually, when I drive up now, if they're outside, they go in the building. I mean, I've noticed this. We notice these patterns. You're not fooling. It's happened 6 times in a row. It's not coincidence at this point. So I've decided I would look into cat. So, you know, people are not going to do that. But they are going to do that if they're picking out, like with animals, because it's just, well, that's just an animal. That's just a cat. No, they're not just a cat. So why they were rejected? One, because of being overweight. How many times do we hear that as people, or feel that as people? Number 2, a medical condition, a disability. 3, too shy. They're not outgoing. Well, they were the main reasons those 7 were left. Old, you're too old. Age was a factor in a couple of them. So yeah, it was interesting sociologically, it was interesting to me to have gone and to see, and I didn't realize I was going to be seeing the leftovers. I thought I was just going to be seeing 7 cats who hadn't been adopted yet. And I was in there for over an hour. And I was the only person in there on a Sunday afternoon. I don't think anybody probably else came. And they kept telling me, oh, we'll have more. And that's another thing. The people who work there were trying to be nice. I'm interested in this one with the heart condition. This is the thing. My FI is going, my values, I can relate very well to this cat. Whether this cat, and I say this cat because I would change the name. It doesn't have a name. They give them fake names, and I don't like that. They call her Allie, Allie as in, not Allie as in short for Allison, Allie as in like A-L-L-E, like an alley, street alley. This cat's not like an alley cat. No. To me, that's a little derogatory. So anyway, yeah, and I told him I just have to do my research. And, from one reject because of whatever, being an INFP and with medical issues and age and whatnot, to another one with medical issues and age. Maybe the two of us can get along, at least cohabitate and be company for each other in our old age. But realistically, so that's the FI talking, but what they were saying as the staff members there, they were like, well, come back, we'll get more later. And I'm like, you don't do that. You don't switch them out that easy. I was interested in this cat, and it's a matter of my TE coming out and saying, be logical. Can you do this? You're going to be restrained as far as going. You're not going to be able to go as often. Can you handle the sickness? And because I freak out when somebody else gets sick. I mean, it upsets me. I don't freak out. It upsets me. I get upset when I get sick too. But is it something I need to put on my plate? So my logical side is saying, you don't need this on your plate. You don't need another animal. You don't need another pet. You don't need another fur baby. Just go with the flow. You're doing well now. Don't upset the apple cart. So that's what I'm just thinking and what I wanted to put out there. Yeah, and I did have a point about that. I probably should never have gone. Every time I go to a shelter, I want to take them all home. I don't like going, and I haven't been in years. But I did go, and just for those of you who are YouTubers, let me know what you think. I do like your comments. If you're listening on podcasts, you do have the option to either one can email me. I've set up a separate email account now, mainly for podcasters. It's older INFP Insights at gmail.com with your comments, questions. I won't divulge who you are, but I just wanted to put this out there for some reason, that I did go see the leftovers in the cat world, and it's not that far off from the leftovers in the human species world. That we're not alone. People that don't treat us correctly also don't treat the animal kingdom correctly, and it's the same reasons. They would get rejected for the same reasons. And all of these tended to be, except for the one 10-year-old male that was so large. I'm trying to think of a dog that cat was about the size of. That cat was so large. We have a 25-pound limit here at where I live, and I'm not sure that cat's in that limit. That was a large cat, and to be a ginger. He's on a diet right now. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I did, I'm doing well, and I'm doing fine, and by the time I do publish this, I hate the word drop. By the time that you are able to hear this or see this, a decision will have been made because I'm doing this like 2 weeks in advance. So I just wanted to say something about that I did visit the leftovers in the shelter. They're all about the same. The FI and the TE and me was in conflict. Do you have conflict? Does your FI collide with your logical side sometimes? And who wins? Which side usually wins? Okay, that's enough. This is long enough. So until next time, I hope everybody stays safe.